Revenge films.
My name is Summer. This happened when I made a reservation at an expensive restaurant with my husband, Theo, to celebrate my mom's 60th birthday. I was looking forward to it because I was visiting the restaurant owned by my high school friend's husband for the first time. But we experienced something unexpected there. When we arrived, the owner came out and asked if we had a reservation, so I told my name, but I thought I heard him giggle for a second. It looked like he was looking down on us or something, but I decided to think I was just overthinking because I didn't want to feel bad while I celebrated my mom's 60th birthday. But the owner continued to act in a way that made me think he was looking down on us.
You're my wife's classmate, right? I heard about you from her. You married a middle school graduate, right? Does that mean the guy next to you is your husband who only graduated middle school?
When he said that, he looked at my husband, trying to hold his laughter. "Hey, what's with your attitude? You're being rude." When I said that, my husband said,
Nah, just ignore him.
He stopped me. Then the owner seemed irritated by how my husband told me to just ignore him, and he continued to say worse things.
Are you looking down on our restaurant? It's not a place for middle school graduates. This is an expensive restaurant. Are you celebrating her 60th birthday? You better choose a restaurant that matches your level. There's a chain restaurant across the street. How about you go there?
The owner said as he laughed. Then my mother, who had been listening, got furious. "I can't eat at a restaurant where a rude person like him works. Let's leave," she claimed, but then the owner said,
I'm not being rude, I'm just telling the truth. You must be crazy for allowing your daughter to marry a middle school graduate.
He then started targeting my mother with his rude claims. I knew at that moment that my kind mother was full of anger from her expression. My husband only graduated from middle school, but he had his reasons. When he was in 9th grade, his parents passed away in an accident, and he wasn't able to take the entrance exam out of shock, so that's why he didn't go to high school. He then moved in with his grandparents, but because they didn't have enough money, he started working as a delivery man for a local liquor store to make a living. We knew what he's gone through, so we felt very irritated towards the owner who looked down on his educational background. Looks like Mom felt the same. When we were about to leave, the owner said,
Don't ever come again. People will question the quality of our restaurant.
Then my mom turned back at him. "I am canceling my transactions with this restaurant." We quickly left the restaurant after that. To celebrate her 60th birthday, we decided to go to a sushi restaurant instead. And after eating special sushi until she was full, Mom was feeling much better. There was no way I could forgive that owner, but if I keep on being bothered by the bad things that happened, I knew that this special day would be ruined, so I decided to forget it for the time being. The next day, when I went to work, Mom was calling someone looking furious. My parents owned a brewing store that had lasted for generations, and my dad was the owner. My mom and husband also worked there, and my husband is the heir of the business. I help them with work only when they're busy, but it was my first time to see Mom get angry during work. After the call ended, a man quickly ran towards our entrance in a hurry. When I took a closer look, I found out that it was the owner of the expensive restaurant. I was surprised. "Why are you here?" When I asked,
Please, let me talk with the owner.
he said. When I was confused, my mom came out. "Please go home. I don't want to see your face again." She tried to shoo him off. Then the owner said in a weak voice, which was the exact opposite from how he acted the other day,
I'm very sorry about yesterday. I'm very, very sorry.
He apologized, looking as if he was about to cry. "Please, leave right now." Mom was furious. But he wasn't backing down, and when we were having an argument at the entrance, my dad came out hearing the noise.
What's with the noise? What is going on?
When my dad asked, the owner said, looking pale,
Sir, I'm very sorry. Please don't cancel our agreements.
He begged on his knees. At that moment, I quickly realized what was going on. It turns out that he was serving the rare sake made at our liquor shop at his expensive restaurant. The sake we made at our store is very rare and sold at an expensive price. Everyone who loved sake would know our brand, and our clients include local sushi shops and expensive restaurants. After leaving that restaurant, Mom told Dad about how rudely we were treated, and we found out that we were selling our sake to that shop. Mom remembered the name of the restaurant, so she knew that the restaurant was one of our clients. Dad got furious, saying he would cancel all the transactions, and he quickly let the restaurant know. The owner repeatedly called him to apologize, but when Mom hung up, refusing to accept his apologies, he came to visit our shop in person. The owner said,
"We started attracting more customers and making more profit once we started serving the sake made at this shop. We advertised about it so much, we'll lose so much of our profit if we no longer serve it."
He apologized over and over again. Dad was getting tired with his repeated apologies.
"The one you looked down on, saying he was a middle school graduate, is our next heir. We will never provide our sake to a restaurant where the owner judges people based on their educational background, ignoring their hard work,"
he said, as if teaching him a lesson. I thought he'd given up, but the owner continued.
"No way! I won't leave unless you agree to sell us the sake!"
Like that, he sat on the ground near the entrance. Everyone there was in shock, seeing how immature and annoying the owner was. We went back to work ignoring him, but he was still sitting in front of the entrance, although it was already lunchtime. I had no other choice, and when I called my friend, who was his wife, to explain what was going on, she quickly came to pick him up. My friend apologized over and over again, bowing to us. I couldn't really trust her because she was the one who told him that my husband was a middle school graduate. My friend realized that I was feeling suspicious and said, "I never meant to look down on him. I only told him how much I admire him for working hard and becoming the heir of the liquor store despite being a middle school graduate. But my husband—" Then she glared at him. As she bowed to us over and over again, she went home, pulling him by the collar. As we said, we stopped providing them with our sake, and the owner finally seemed to give up. He stopped calling us after that. According to the rumor, it looks like he was advertising our restaurant a lot using our sake. So many of their customers who visited for our sake filed complaints, and they eventually lost trust. "How dare you give us false advertising and deceive the customers that you serve a rare kind of sake?" Customers complained like this. As a result, they were getting bad reviews, customers were visiting less, and they were in a continuous deficit. To make things worse, because he looked down on my husband and his restaurant wasn't doing well, his wife ran away with their child. My friend told me, "I decided to get a divorce. I'm sorry to make you feel uncomfortable. I hope we can stay being friends." She contacted me, and our friendship wasn't ruined. It looked like she was in charge of coming up with the menu served at the restaurant, so now that he got a divorce, he was unable to manage it on his own, and it went bankrupt. The owner had to go into a lot of debt. After a while, when I met up with my friend and asked about how it was going, she told me that she's strictly making him pay child support despite him being in a lot of debt. A few years later, my husband took over the business after my father let him be in charge of the shop. My mom also retired, and my parents are going to enjoy a relaxed life together. They had been working really hard since they were young to protect the liquor shop. So now they enjoy going on trips together after retirement. Instead, my husband and I are now very busy every day, but seeing my husband work hard, saying this is his life goal, I made up my mind to support him the best I can as long as he works here. I was furious when he was looked down on because of his educational background, but reflecting back, no matter what someone said to him, I think I should have said, "So what?" to their face. The reason is because my husband is so good at his job that we never really cared about his educational background. Maybe the reason why he didn't talk back that day was because he was proud of how he's been living his life. When I realized that, I couldn't help but think my husband was such a handsome guy.
How was today's video? If you enjoyed it, please subscribe, like, and leave a comment. Stay tuned for more.